Welcome to Hollywood, California. I'm Avi Lewis. We're here to talk to actor John Cusack. He's been in more than 50 films, from Grosse Pointe Blank and High Fidelity to Con Air and a whole bunch of romantic comedies I can't remember the names of. I do recall that he once said that celebrity is the worst thing that can happen to an actor. But it's his political views and the issues facing Americans in this election year that we're here to talk to him about. He's written extensively about his opposition to the Iraq War. His latest film, War, Inc., is a scathing satire about private military contractors. And he's on record calling the Bush administration depressing, corrupt, unlawful, and tragically absurd. Wonder what he really thinks. Here's my conversation with John Cusack.
Pakistan. What's the gig?
Omar Sharif.
Omar Sharif?
Yeah. CEO of Ujigas, the Ujikistani conglomerate. Terminate. Do that voodoo that you do so well. This is a historic moment, Hauser. The first war ever to be 100% outsourced to private enterprise. Tamerlane jets, Tamerlane tanks, Tamerlane soldiers, and to top it all off, the brand USA Expo. It's your show, baby.
Thanks for doing this.
My pleasure.
Let's talk about War, Inc.
Sure.
Here's a movie about contractors gone mad. So
Yeah.
it's not that far beyond what's actually happening in the world of military profiteering. But none of the candidates in the election campaign are talking about private contractors. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think they want to get elected, and I don't think that they want to. They don't want to go up against each other and the Republican Party. I assume you're talking about the Democrats, but I think the Republicans want to keep things going as they are. But I also think they don't want to go against these huge corporate interests. So I think it's a strategic incrementalist reason.
And yet, the response to the film from audiences so far, it's resonating.
Yeah, I think people. The film is set like 2 minutes into the future, but I think people know that the film is an absurd and scary representation of probably what the future is going to look like if we follow the current trend.
Okay, so set aside the fact that you're doing satire and that you want to go to the absurd. Do you really believe that that's where it's headed?
Well, I believe that's where it is. Yeah, I think so. I mean, strangely, all the research we did, was based on stuff, was an extension of things that were actually happening. And it has to do with the mission of the neoconservative movement to create sort of this free market utopia in Iraq. Mm-hmm. So in a way, it's very hard to stay a step ahead of that kind of stuff, even when you try to take it into absurd.
Right, so you say you're making a movie about 2 minutes in the future, but it takes months to finish a film.
Right.
Is there anything has reality overtaken anything in the film?
We knew when we wrote it that this privatization movement and this sort of radical reinterpretation of what the role of government is and the core most sacred functions of government, that these things would become for-profit businesses, and that Eric Prince would go on record and say, we want to do for the military what FedEx did for the post office, and think that running a for-profit occupation would be like delivering the mail, but that wouldn't be a joke. How do you approach those things more absurdly than reality is? So I think events have tragically confirmed a lot of things in the movie, and I don't want to be right about that, but I think we are.
Tamerlane welcomes Expo to Rakistan, brand USA.
So do you see this issue of the privatization of war and the outsourcing of government and many of its core functions as the core issue?
I think so. I think that follows this vision of the world that corporate ethics are our national interest, and and I just don't think as a citizen or as a spiritual creature or even as a thinking creature that we should accept that. I don't want to be a shareholder in a great ecumenical college of corporations. That's not my fucking thing.
Is there a T-shirt with that coming out?
Sure. Sure.
That'll be your campaign.
Right, you know, I don't want to join that party. And I don't think a lot of other people do either. To me, it feels like we're zonk spectators and we're on this conveyor belt. I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. Is this really happening? And we just keep going. And I think maybe making the film, though no great feat, certainly, but at least it's saying something. Or it's just saying, at least in this time when America was being taken down this path, which I think is correctable. You know, I didn't want to say, well, I was just made money or I did this, or, you know, I think it's just a movie and it's just art, but I think it's part of a larger conversation. It's part of a voice that says, I'm not with this and you don't have to be with it either. And it's part of a kind of insurrectionary expression of dissent, which I think is vital to actually being patriotic. What the hell else are we going to do on this dark and lonely night?
So you want to seduce the journalist whose politics you despise?
How dare you? I have no politics.
Everyone has politics, even if they don't know it.
Not me.
But I think the idea that people have politics even if they don't know it is a pretty subversive suggestion.
Yeah. Everybody has politics. You know, you are going to be a part of the world one way or the other. You're going to be a part of these systems, whether you like it or not. So you might as well choose to be conscious.
You know, we have to take a break. Actually, I should tell them, not you.
Okay.
We got to take a break, but we'll be back with more of my conversation with John Cusack in just a minute.